it up. So now you're purposefully getting burned out. You're trying to get burned out in a way.
Okay, I'll add something to this similar line, right? Anyway, I'm going to give a talk tomorrow. My talk is basically in just those who are not talking about maybe. It's about my experience developing sound, right?
It's up. It's up.
Yeah, it's about. I'll not go to the details, but the idea is that I also try to develop an application using AI, and my idea is to share that experience. Okay. Uh, okay. What was my thought? I just lost that. No. What you were where you started? I lost that.
What was the point of open source contribution? Why do you want to bring new people?
Okay, yeah, scratching an itch. Right, yeah, okay. So that means why I started this application. Okay, I created many things. Okay, and there was a need for me, and I created something for myself actually. And then I found that I sent a post to Reddit. Hey, I created this. How is it? So then, oh, it looks wonderful, awesome. Can you? I told, can you upload to Play Store? I told I don't have account, or maybe I'll try. And then I went ahead and figured out and learned all those process, and finally uploaded to Google's Play Store. Of course I had to spend some money and all. And then people ask me, no, I don't use Android. I am using iOS. In some Facebook group, people want in iOS. I don't use iOS myself. Then I spent 50,000 to buy an iPad mini
For this project.
Then I bought iPad mini. I bought, and then I converted this. I asked AI to port this in few days. No, not few days, few hours. It ported that into the iOS platform also. Like runs in, and then I published there also. There I had to pay more money. What's the point of ordering this thing? It's the fun of project that I just started, and I enjoyed doing that. Actually, I was learning through that. So that was my point. This thing I created for myself. I found it really fun activity, and I really want to do it. And I found that some other people wanted to see that. Okay, some people were asking. One person commented saying that I'm a blind person. I can't see this thing, but looks very promising idea and all. So can you make accessibility available? Okay, I just one prompt. It was fully accessible in iOS and Android everywhere. So it is fully accessible application. Then there are people asking about no, they don't. They want translation. Okay, I asked to translate into all languages that is there. So it was translated to, and then I started getting reports. One Turkey guy saying that okay, this language there is a mistake in this language there. So I asked to correct what, please verify. Also, it corrected all the Turkish language translations. So I mean, this all people community is there. Somebody reported a bug. There was a crash somewhere in my GitHub. So I within 24 hours that was fixed and released and made available. Okay, which I put. Of course, this all doing by AI. I'm not doing. I'm just giving the prompts. But thing is that see, there is an interaction going on with the people, the real users, and we were just checking now. I don't know this looking at the dashboard of the thing, and my one friend I met here, he showed me that there are 200 people, 200 to 100 people, right? The 100 people right now using that app. There are 250 people, so who are downloading that, they're actively using that app. So that means somebody is really find it useful, just like me, and they're happy about that.
But that is how it starts.
Yeah.
And then these entitled users keeps on asking for features, bug fixes, and all. And then you become the burned out maintainer within 1 year. And then you'll be like, I should now start this thing. Maybe some people for it might happen that way.
I did one more thing because I'm coming from this software background and all. I kept all the software from the day one in the GitHub with the all documentation, M11, everything. Whatever that you do for a normal free software project, I kept all those kind of.
Then it became dependency of many other projects. But nobody cares about this maintainer anymore. But when he decides to change the license, for example, saying that maybe he would put a virus inside, and then you're like, this is because nobody paid attention to me. But then what happens? This forking availability, these companies would rather choose that option rather than helping this maintainer out.
Yeah. Okay. In my case, actually, I've taken much more precaution. Okay. Things like my application, at least I try to make completely offline. There is no internet connectivity, no network, nothing. There is no permission required. basically it will not ask any permissions also. So those kind of things I intentionally did that. People can add those kind of things and improve on that,
But I think this maintainer burnout happens in this way. You are currently in the starting phase. But when you are a dependency of React or even very core major libraries, and you know that SKCD chart, right? The dependency chart.
okay, you're talking about the what they call pipeline supply chain.
Yeah. So there will be this one person here. But because of this forking availability, the companies would rather fork that dependency rather than getting the maintainer option. And that option I think is also bad in a way. Because you don't really care about the human anymore. You just fork it, and I think a recent example was there was this library for MIME text, email MIME text. There was a library. This was a popular library of listing all the MIME text. Simple just this was a dependency in many projects. The maintainer got burned out. He changed the license to GPL, and it became the dependency. Everyone was updating the package. Everyone was checking it. And later they realized it was GPL. So now what they did was the maintainer said, I want to changing that. They forked the whole commit, put into the permissive action, and everybody started using that. And the maintainer, nobody paid attention. This is a common scenario happening in almost every time.
Yeah, I think I don't know what is the solution for that, but
That's my point. Why do we want to bring people into this exploitative system?
the thing is that order China it's becoming so common these days that it's become very accessible for not just techie and intelligent people. I have met some of the people who are not at all that much technical, who is using this kind of systems and benefiting out of that. It's not just creating the direct applications and posting to Play Store and anything, but they are using it, this kind of things for their day-to-day work, which is wonderful, right?
You're trying to get us all out of jobs. By the way.
Okay, I'm done. Maybe.
To make a project, it's set and forget. That's the best way. Don't be a maintainer. That's the only, logical way to contribute to open source. Just do it once and then forget it. And if anyone want to fork it and maintain it, go ahead. Whatever you want to do, like go ahead. But yeah, if
There is another option also that is basically you can try to bring somebody else and make them a maintainer and leave. So
yeah,
that's
exactly. Like I can just make a project and then there's yeah, it's open source. You can
not
do
just
whatever
run
you
away.
want.
No, I'm not saying just run away, right? Try to bring others so that they could do this maintenance and work.
Yeah, but then
There was this like difference XC, the vulnerability, right? So
Yeah.
this maintainer was burned out. So there was this new guy, Chinese guy, Jian Dan.
Yeah.
What was his name? Jian. Jian Dan was very active, started sending patches, very trustable guy. No professor or anything, nothing, very anonymous guy. But he was doing sending patches and all. So this maintainer trusted him. So this maintainer was like, I want to give this, and he gave it to him. Turns out he was a hacker. The next version release, he pushed out a ransomware into it, and it was a major core dependency of everything. So this can also happen.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I don't know again the solution for that, but that's something. Yeah.
also like that's also another thing. Like you would also like if you bring someone in, that's your responsibility. That you have to make.
Why are you putting the responsibility on the burnt out maintainer? Wow.
No. What I'm saying like if I made a project, okay, and then I just made someone else a maintainer. Now I am like exploiting that guy to maintain my project, and I'll get the credit.
No, the credit will be distributed though. Copyright header.
Yeah, so yeah, but still, like, why would I give that burden to someone else?
Because I think some things are better when you're using it. What's the best way to say that? Some things are better when you leave it.
Yeah, no. What I was saying is like, if anyone want to pick up the burden themselves, it's okay, right? But if I assign it themselves to someone, that's a burden on me. Like, that's what do you call it? That guilt would be on me, right?
There should be no guilt. You build it, you leave it. Light demos now. Doing light demos. I think we should pick some topics where some people do not agree. I think we are all agreeing on everything. I think that's a very bad thing. Maybe I will disagree purposefully, sarcastically. I can do that as well. I'm saying you shouldn't contribute to open source, you guys are also agreeing. I mean, it's true, right? It's an exploitative industry.
There are some blogs or stories by some of the contributors who burned out. You know, they spoiled some of their life. So you could look up. Okay, I have seen some in the Python community, various communities like that. So it's true. People are. There was a guy called Kenneth Grimes, right? Who was maintaining something called request. This is small Python package for making HTTP request. His life was so dedicated to that. He was maintaining it for so many years, and it leads to burnout for him. And I met another person, from Python community. He was running US PyCon. He was a chair for the US, Nolan, and he burned out. He is even got divorced by his wife after 3 PyCons. Okay, because was running the PyCons so dedicated that he was not even able to spend time with his family. And people were so, I mean, that's there in everywhere. It's not just open source, but people, when they maintain or do things like that, there is a project called CURL, CURL. Daniel, who was maintaining that for, I don't know, maybe all his age. when you, he's happy, of course. Some people are happy and they don't do so many things. They do just one thing and they maintain it for such a long period of time. Yeah, that's what's happening, but you can do that without burnout. So I think it's very good. I don't know whether anyone is here who burned out or anything, but that's something to be watched out. Just don't try to burn out by doing something for such a prolonged period of time with intense. Yeah, try to find some other things also. Yeah.
But I also think Daniel is happy because he's also getting paid well. But that's not the case with major things maintenance. I was at DevConf. I expected because most of the Debian contributors are from Europe and US, and I expected these people to be a rich kind of lifestyle because that's why they do this. And then I went to the DevConf and I talked to people, and these were like the powers of Europe, I would say. Like these people are, I met a guy who was doing delivery. He was an Amazon package delivery guy, but on his spare time he contributes to Debian. They were like normal, very normal folks who just.
There was a security person standing there. I just casually talked to him while I was standing, and just while talking, I understood he's from neighborhood. He has actually directed movies, and that is to available. He has news. I showed me some news about him doing some coolie work during the Corona time. Okay, and what was that? He was standing outside probably. I don't know. So he showed me some of the movie he directed. So his son is, I mean, a filmmaker who is just doing second. So it's okay to do this kind of things. As long as if they have, and he told me that he's creating a new movie. Yeah, he's producing himself. I told how you're finding fun. He's making money somehow and producing that movie and making, because that's his passion. And this job, what he's doing here is just his security work.
But he's also getting paid for his passion too. Unlike the
probably, yeah. But I don't know if that's the case. Why do you need to do this thing? That's a different question.
But I think these passion people can be easily exploited also in any fields. And I think it's easier in free software because you can get exploited remotely.
I have one thing to add. So like, I believe in the concept of like finished software or done software. But like, I believe software updates are immoral. They shouldn't be a thing. Security updates are fine, but feature updates should not be a thing. Like when you start writing a project, you should define what features you want to build. You build until you finish those features and then you stop.
There is an economical problem. Let's say, for example, this chair. If I want to make a copy of this chair, I have to start building it from scratch, right? But software is the one unique commodity in the history of the universe where you can control C, control V. And you don't have a secondary cost to make a copy of that product, anything digital, right? When you say this, when a software gets completed, you can fire all the engineers, unlike the guy who makes the chairs. So the problem here is actually economical because the engineers need to justify their job, and their justification is software upgrades, new features. So a software will always need to have new features, which is why also we have bloated software.
Exactly.
And free software is an exception to this because nobody is getting paid. So there is no justification of a job there.